Hello, and welcome to another episode of My Opinion Means Nothing. This week on the show, I am joined by a good friend of mine, well, now a very good friend of mine. He is a writer, he is a poet. Would it be too much to say you're also a director as well? Because you've directed your own pieces?
Only once, but I won class.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Without further ado, guys, just like, I wish there was like a round of applause, like if the people could clap and it was, sorry, it's just a picture that appeared in my head. But we've got Ben Poppy on the show.
Hello.
Did you like your intro? Did I big you up way too much?
Yeah, no, thank you for that. It was nice.
So how you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, yeah. I'm slightly nervous. It's my first podcast.
That's alright, man. There's nothing to be nervous about. It's just like the conversation we were having earlier, but now there's a microphone in the room.
And it'll be going online.
Makes it sound so much more sinister. They're listening. So usually on the show, what I like to do is talk about what's happening in the world. So we were talking about this earlier, so I think this is a good place to start.
Yeah.
Which is about the man who hid £27,000 worth of cocaine underneath his wig.
Oh, that's brilliant.
I want to know how he thought he would get away with it, really and truly. Did you see the picture?
I did, yeah.
Like, it was like, I read the article and it said his eyes are covered out because that shows everything, apparently. We saw his face, but...
It's like a Monty Python sketch.
Yeah, literally, it's like every day in the news, it's not even just this story, but it just feels like you can't make this up nowadays. Like,
Satire is dead.
Yeah, like back in the day, you could literally like, do you know like they had so many of those shows that was like satirical of the politics and shit like that, or I don't know, I can't remember like not Punch and Judy, but like
Spit and Image.
Spit and Image, that's the one I was thinking about. Yeah. Spit and Image. You can't have Spit and Image on the TV nowadays because like we see this in the news just as a general thing, like, so this is what politics is just generally like now. So we're just like, you're showing us as a comedy sketch? Is this not real life? But yeah, so apparently a man was arrested after hiding 1/2 kilo of cocaine underneath his wig at Barcelona airport. Spanish police groups suspicious of the man who had some sort of toupee on his head, but it kind of looked lopsided. It looked like he had something underneath his toupee, basically. Like, at least if they were, it's like, for me, like, why didn't they, is there not a way that he could have, like, flattened it more? You know? Like,
Months of preparation.
It's like he decided on the day, like, he was like, right, I need to get back to Barcelona, so, we didn't finish all the coke, so let's just take it back to Barcelona with us. But bro, that's way so much coke. Nah, man, it's fine. I'll just hide it under my toupee. What, you really think you'll get away with it? Yeah, of course, man. What? I got this. It'll be fine. They won't see it. Like, and if they ask, what they're gonna say? It just looks like my toupee's a bit buffy. Maybe I've got an afro, you know? Nah, man. Basically, he looked nervous and he was giving it away that it was obviously you would be nervous with £27,000 worth of cocaine on your head. You would have I don't know.
I wonder if he's done it before.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm thinking. You know, like he must have, like, maybe not that much, yeah, but maybe he's done like I don't know, $7,000 worth of cocaine in one go back to Barcelona, and he done it under his toupee and he got away with it. Like, and this time, like, he's been doing more and more and more, and then this time it's just like, I know it's a lot, but they haven't caught me the other times. I really don't know.
Isn't there that like psychology? Something to do with psychology where they say that like if you get some money and you hide it underneath a piece of paper in the middle of a room, like you'll be less likely to look there than
It's
anywhere
true,
else.
you know. It's true. It's kind of like if someone was giving away free money in the street, would you find it suspicious, or would you take the free money? That's a genuine question.
Depended on my circumstances at the time, maybe.
Yeah. But like it's that kind of same kind of scenario, like hiding money in hiding. He thought it's probably like the idea of putting something in plain sight and thinking they're not gonna check me.
Yeah.
But if you look nervous, bro, they probably will.
It's like, did you remember the when Banksy did like a little market stall in like New York somewhere, and it said like Banksy prints, and no one brought them, but if they did, they would have been worth a lot of money.
That's what I mean. It's kind of like literally the conversation we were just having before we came on the podcast. Kind of about, I was talking to one of my work colleagues. I think it was on Monday, and she was telling me how when Asda first opened up, she was like one of the first lot of employees to work at Asda, and she got offered stocks in Asda, and because she didn't know about stocks and she wasn't really interested in it, she turned down the stocks. Now, everyone with your mind of thinking nowadays, like because of like the whole age of Bitcoin, and everyone's more up to date with kind of investing and stocks and kind of having kind of that, what's the word, a portfolio of accounts, instead of just having one stream of income. So like nowadays, like you would say, if someone offers you stocks in a company, I'm gonna take that shit. You know, I'm gonna take that. Yes, I accept your stocks, because if I get fired, I need to read my contract as well, just in case it says there's some sort of stipulation. It says in the event that you're fired, stocks are just you get your stocks removed. I'll be like, whoa, that's unfair. Hey, anyway, just guys out there, this is a true fact. You can't just have one stream of income. You need to have multiple streams of income in this day and age, because one stream of income doesn't pay you enough for you to survive, unfortunately, nowadays. Like especially in London, if anything, like the cost of what they pay you, and then what you have to then put on your rent, and then buy food, and then still possibly have money to go out and enjoy London life. It's kind of like it's like you have to kind of give up one or sacrifice parts of one so you can have the other, and it's not right. It's like I think it was Sophie I was talking to about this. Like we were talking about how there's a country, I don't know what country it is, maybe I should look it up, I do have the internet in front of me. But there's a country that has like a 4-day week, and they've worked out that employees can do the same amount of work in 4 days that they can get done in 5 days, but the only difference is they get more time to spend with their family.
Yeah, definitely.
And then
productivity goes up.
Exactly. So then that got me to thinking, why are we still working 5 days? Like if there's people out there that have worked out that we can do the same shit in 4 days that we're doing in 5 days, and why is everyone still working 5-day weeks and just being tired? If I could have a 3-day weekend every week, it would be crazy. Or there's even like, and again, I need to look this up. I did actually try and look this up. Maybe I didn't type in the right keywords before. But like, I don't know if this is like, me and Sophie were talking about there's maybe a country or a company that allows their employees to kind of alternate the part of the month that they work.
Yeah. So
like they'll have 2 weeks working and then 2 weeks off every month, and they'll kind of alternate with other employees, so everything's kind of covered.
Yeah.
And even that, thinking about it, is kind of a interesting way to work. So imagine you always knew that you're gonna have 2 weeks off every month, but you would still get paid for a month as if you've done a month's work.
Yeah, definitely.
So that's pretty cool. Or there's again, a country maybe, or a company that allows that they have 3 months off a year. So you're working for 9 months, and then you can literally go on, explore the world for 3 months, you know? and then know that you're still coming back to your job, and it's that's pretty cool.
It's capitalism, man.
Yeah, exactly. If there's other ways to live, why are we not living in those ways? Why do we have to conform to the government?
It's Britain, the proud homeland of moaning.
So true. Like, I think it's funny how, like, we always complain about shit.
But we never do anything.
We never do nothing. That's it. We complain, like, or we'll line up. Do you know what? I'm angry about this shit. I'm gonna go complain. Oh, there's other people that want to complain? We're all in a queue? Fine, we'll just be frustrated in this queue until it's my turn. And then I'll speak. It's like, I don't know, it's just all these things that to do with kind of climate change and kind of the world right now that we're living in. I feel like we're actually in a time where kind of, if we don't start doing something now, it's kind of like, I feel like it will just continue to spiral out of control.
Definitely.
And like, I think that it's good that so many people are active and vocal about this, like the plastic and single-use plastic, because we need to stop using plastic. If there's a way that we can not use plastic, then, or I don't know if I spoke about this in a previous episode, but not Asda, what is the really expensive one?
Waitrose.
Jeez, yeah, that's the one. Waitrose has started doing like, you can bring your own Tupperware to the store with you.
Yeah.
And like if you want to like get pasta or rice, you can fill up your own containers with it, so you don't have to keep reusing the plastic and stuff like that. And they put up like notice boards in the shop so that I was going to say patients, so that people that come into the store, I can't think of what they're, customers. So that customers can kind of write on the notice board and say like if there's any things that they want to be implemented in the store, like they want to maybe be changed or how they think the store could kind of improve. They kind of give it up to the customers to kind of help them change, which I think is a very good point. But I don't know, it's just, I had an article about, there was this boy who, where are you, boy? So there was this boy who was sent a letter to McDonald's begging them to cut down on the amount of plastic that they use, and they responded. And I found this kind of article really interesting because there was the single-use plastic documentary that was on BBC iPlayer or BBC, I don't know, I watched it on iPlayer, and in that there was these two little girls who also wrote a letter to I think Burger King maybe and McDonald's, and Burger King got back to them and they were like, oh yeah, this is dope, yeah, we're fully down to support your cause. But McDonald's never got back to them. They just sent them back like some sort of like automated message. So the two girls with the BBC, the lady who was kind of, what is the word?
Journalist?
Hosting the documentary. I hate when words disappear.
Yeah, I was not feeling.
So like the lady who was hosting the documentary, and then like they all went down to the McDonald's HQ with like loads of, like a petition signed by loads of kids, and they all brought down like all of McDonald's toys that kids didn't want to use anymore and they couldn't recycle them. So they brought them all the way down to McDonald's, went down to the McDonald's office, went in, tried to speak to reception and saying, oh, I brought these two girls, they sent a letter about McDonald's using plastic, and the lady from the reception said, oh yeah, hang on, we're just getting someone to come speak to you. And the person that they got to come speak to them was security, who ended up escorting them out of the building, off the premises.
So
exactly. So and then there was like, they camera panned up to the office windows, you could see people looking out and shit like that, but no one came out from the McDonald's offices to speak to these two little kids that came down there with all their plastic toys and said, we want to return these toys back to McDonald's. And they didn't want to accept it, and they were like, you have to take it and you have to leave the premises. And I thought, when I read this article and I said, they responded to him, I haven't even read the response, I was just like, they responded? Damn, I need to talk about this, because what did they say? So, basically, the little boy sent this letter saying, "Dear McDonald's staff, please can you stop putting toys in the Happy Meals? I would be very happy. I would be very happy. The toys are made of plastic, and it is affecting the world around us. It's killing a lot of animals. Yours sincerely, Jacob Douglas, aged 8, Essex, Basildon."
I mean, I agree with him, but I can't imagine him being too popular on the playground after trying to ban that.
And what did they respond to him? Where's this response? She said, in a heartwarming response to Jacob's letter, McDonald's said it will look to change Happy Meal toys by using a plastic alternative. I mean, yeah, great. That's not what he said in the letter, though. He said, "Can you stop putting toys in Happy Meals?" And you, man, said, "All right, I hear your comment, but we can't do that. We can't stop giving kids toys. What would we? What are we? We're not a charity here now. We're not KFC. We don't just give you good food. No.
We lose profits.
Yeah, we'll lose profits, exactly. So we'll find an alternative, and we'll continue making the toys. Everyone's a winner, right?
I think that's what you need to do. You just need to grind them down bit by bit, you know?
It's like, I was in the queue at KFC on the weekend, and I love overhearing people's conversations behind me. Because some people have the funniest conversations. So there was this lady who was, I didn't look behind me, I just heard the conversation. So this lady was talking to her friend, and they were there with their family, their kids, and I think they must have been talking about their husbands and how they were talking about money. I control the money. I have another account. And I make sure if I need the money, I move it to this other account. And then she was just like, "Oh, you could probably." One of her friend must have said to the other girl, "You could probably clear your husband out, right?" And she was like, "Yeah, actually, I probably could, and he wouldn't even have a Scoobies." And I was like, "Whoa, whoa, people, what's your finances in relationships?" I was actually having a conversation with my best friend's girlfriend about this. Actually, she was saying that her mum gave her this advice. That this is the only one piece of advice that her mum gave her was that she should always be in control of the finances. Never have a joint bank account, her mum told her. Only have a joint bank account for bills. Because she was like, because it's true though, I guess, in a sense. Everyone needs to be in control of their own money. Because if we have a joint account, and there's joint money, this means it's money for both of us. So if I spend, I don't know, £2,000 from the joint account for my own purposes, maybe I shouldn't be spending. This way, you can keep the innocence. I can buy my own stuff. There's never going to be a time where someone checks into the joint account and you're $2,000 down and. What?
I don't think I can be trusted.
What happened to this? Oh yeah, I just, I went, you just have to think of that excuse on the spot. What could I spend $2,000 on? A holiday. You went on holiday without telling me? No, I haven't been on holiday. I was planning a surprise holiday. Oh, where are we going? It's a surprise, honey. And then at that moment, you'll just be like, "Well, I haven't planned a holiday, but now I need to find a holiday from my own account, find $2,000, spend it on this holiday to help fuel the lie."
Yeah, I could couldn't be trusted. I don't think. No, I'm awful when it comes to that.
No, I am awful with money, so it'd be great if when I do finally find the love of my life, she can be handy with money. Yeah, why can't I use the podcast to find a woman? If you're out there, lady of my dreams,
Do you have a comment section?
Yeah, man, just comment on the come on, yeah, right. I'm looking for a girl. So is Ben. Fuck it. This.
No, you leave me out of this.
Alright, fine. Just Corey.
We'll concentrate on you today.
I want to play podcast Tinder, right? I don't even know where this is going. This all just popped up in the top of my head. So I want to play podcast Tinder.
This is when you need a jingle.
Yeah, this is where I need a jingle. I'm trying.
You should work on that.
Yeah, I'm gonna work on a jingle. I'm gonna make a jingle maybe, and it's gonna be dope maybe also. Yeah, I'll make a jingle, and I'm looking for, and it's gonna go like podcast Tinder.
I'm glad you have an idea for it already. Yeah, sounds good.
Right, so if I need the girl that I'm looking for, she just needs to be good with money. This is all I'm looking for right now. There'll be a new aspect that I'm looking for next episode. Whoever is the guest will just be like, "What's this?" And I'm like, "I'm playing podcast Tinder every episode. I'm letting the females out there know what I'm looking for." Now maybe one day I won't have to do this Tinder shit. Maybe Bumble and all that stuff. Maybe I won't have to do that, and then maybe the lady of my dreams will just come to me via the podcast. Why not, man?
Have you seen the that new thing that Tinder are doing?
No.
I saw it the other day. I was at some gig and they had a little a caravan type thing outside the front, and it had Tinder all over it. And you go over and they give you a hat. So when you're at the gig, you know all the single people from the hats that they're wearing. So it's now.
I did not know about that.
Yeah.
It's vibe. Do you know what I also saw an advert for the other day, which actually kind of made me realise how sad Facebook is. Facebook dating is coming soon.
Oh no.
So Facebook dating, if anyone, I heard that they're trialing it somewhere, but apparently Facebook dating is a thing, and it's going to be happening soon. They're going to roll it out in the different locations, I assume, but it really makes you think that how bad is things where they've already conquered social media now. They've bought Instagram. They don't own Twitter, but they don't need to. They own Instagram. They own Snapchat. They own WhatsApp. They pretty much own social media, you know.
Yeah.
And then now they're going out to the next frontier, which is now dating. Connected people already date and connect on their platform anyway, so why not make a whole
As it in.
have a whole nother platform for Facebook dating?
Did you hear about the? I think it was a joke really, but the left wing dating page called OK Comrade. I don't know if that took off that well.
It's brilliant. I mean, I guess that's progression.
That's what.
Can we call that progression if these segregated groups they have their own love circles, so they're not mixed with, I guess, everyone else in there? So does that kind of cuts out the thing where when you see on, I don't know, a girl's profile on Tinder and it says no Tories or something. Cuts out the middleman for that. You don't need to say that no more. They're on their own apps. Oh shit.
I suppose it would help in that regard.
Yeah, it would probably. But I don't know. What do you think about kind of the state of dating nowadays? Do you think it's kind of easier or harder than what it was?
Well, I don't know really. I think it gets harder as you get older, doesn't it? Isn't that like...
Is that all it is? Is that why it's so hard? Yeah. Okay.
Possibly. But I think as well that maybe on something like Tinder or dating apps of any kind, you kind of, a lot of people are left with a sense of like a lot of choice, don't they?
Yeah.
You know, like they're kind of like, oh, but there's this other person who's now messaging me, or now there's this other person. So I don't know, like, I can't really comment, if I'm honest.
I guess so. I don't know, I think maybe back in the day it was simpler because they didn't have much choice, but then that would make it, I guess, easier to know who you'd want because there's less choice. But then it's kind of better that we know that there's more choice out there, but then it kind of, I don't know, it puts you in this world where, like what you were saying, like, I'm talking to this girl, but then someone else has messaged me, maybe I'll talk to this person now, and then we'll just flip between conversations.
Confuses things. And
yeah. You kind of don't really get to know one person fully, and you're going, I don't know, maybe it's a good thing, you're finding what, I don't know.
I think some people look for like a spark straight away.
Yeah.
You know, and I don't think that always happens.
Yeah. Because
like
it feels, there was a time in my life when I would say that dating apps is no different to meeting in person, because you still have the awkward first conversation and you get to leave it. But as I've kind of grown older with it, it's kind of now I've maybe thought about it more. It's kind of, it's I don't know, it's good, but it's not good. But then it's kind of just kind of more of this social media world that we're living in, kind of, don't know, it's like, it feels more like you have to advertise yourself as you're like, it's like...
in a box.
Yeah, or like you're a brand, or I need to sell myself to my future love interest. Otherwise, obviously you do have to sell yourself in some sort of way, but it feels more, I don't know, manufactured or cheap in that sense, because...
Especially when you just flicked. It's just a flick, you know?
Yeah.
In a way, it kind of like dehumanizes you in a way, you know? Like, yeah. Although I think social media out in breakups is probably has made things a lot harder than it used to be.
Yeah.
I mean, before you could just walk off and forget about it completely, couldn't you? Well, these days it's probably a little bit harder.
It's true. You might still be friends with them on Facebook, so that you might see that dodgy status, that indirect status that they drop, and you know it's about you, and you're just like...
Or mutual friends.
Yeah, mutual friends. Or even if you've blocked them, mutual friends, that's the worst one. Mutual friends, they liked or commented on something, and then their post just appears on your timeline. You're like, but I don't even follow you anymore. Yeah, it does make life harder, I guess.
Yeah. It's a strange alien, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's kind of like it's more the same kind of what I was talking about last episode. It's kind of like, because we've grown up in a time before it, so we've grown up with it. So do
you remember the dial-up sounds?
Oh, yes, I do. I could not forget that. And then and then someone tries to call you,
and you can't use the phone.
You can't use the phone, or they call your house and they just hit. Oh, they're on the internet. You know. And I don't know, yeah, it's just, it feels harder, but maybe it's like you said, as you get older, it just becomes harder to find someone.
It's a shame as well. I kind of noticed that, like you were saying, like we were kids just as the internet was starting to kind of come into what it is now. But, you know, I'm sure you were the same when you was like a kid. We were out playing all the time out in the streets, or climbing trees, playing football, that kind of thing. And since like games and technology and that,
you see less and less kids
out and about,
and also, but then it's also kind of now everyone's, it's not a bad thing, but people are more cautious of their kids, I guess, because there's more kind of dangers more probably out there. So you in the same way that you probably would want your kids outside playing, you kind of want to protect them as well. So maybe you might not send them out for that reason. I don't know. I don't have kids.
Yeah, no, neither do I. I don't know.
But it's true. But as we were kids, I did play out more. Like that was like the thing. Like you come home from school and you're like, oh, can I play out?
No, we'll go and play games.
Yeah, we'll go and play. But now it's like, oh yeah, you finished school, yeah, I'll meet you on Fortnite online. Yo, man. And it's like, people class that as socializing because they're talking to their friends, and in a way, yeah, you are socializing, but it's not the same when you're just talking to someone over a headset to actually having a face-to-face conversation with a person.
It can become quite isolating.
Yeah, it's really isolating.
So I wrote a play a couple of years ago, and it was all about a character who is like just set in a house on the eve of like a potential war breaking out, and it was all about like that. Do you know, like in these day and age with like social media and things like that, we're just constantly flooded with information.
Yeah.
I think it's just gonna like. It's about that basically. So all the dialogue is all just heavy conversation. It was trying to talk about like social media, and the only kind of connection he has with other people is through technology. So he's in his house by himself, and it was kind of like a comment on that in a way.
It's kind of like that. I guess they call it. It's the new kind of what they call reality TV show. I don't know if you saw it. Like it was on Channel 4. I can't remember what it was called. Let me look it up. Channel 4 reality TV.
You're gonna be there all day if that's your Google search. Channel.
Come on.
Big Brother.
No. It was called. And let's say 2018, because that should help me. Oh, why won't you just get The Circle? That was what it's called.
Oh.
Okay, so The Circle was basically this. I thought it was kind of like an experiment, but it was a fully reality TV show. So basically, the object of the show was everyone goes in the show, and that it's very isolating. You don't get to see anyone else. You only get to see each other through this platform called The Circle. So you make an avatar, you make a character, and you could be the real person. You could be a real person, or you could be whoever you wanted to be. So like everyone on the show, mostly they like kind of made a character who was themselves, and they started talking to people. And like the more you connect with people, there you can let people in. You start off with just maybe sending messages, and you can start doing video calls and stuff like that. And I think there was one character in the show, not video call, sorry, it was all IM. So you've never done the video, you just saw an avatar. And like, you just saw like a display picture that someone put up. So I think there was one person in the show who was catfishing the whole show. He was actually a guy, and he was pretending to be a girl. Oh. And like, kind of at the end of the show, basically the whole point of the show was a popularity contest. It was you were basically meant to be the most liked person, and then the most liked person ends up winning. So at the end of the show, everyone on the show really liked this guy who was pretending to play this girl character. Everyone loved this character, this person. They were like, oh, she's the best person in the show. She became the most popular, and she ended up winning. So at the end of the show, once they revealed and they showed that it wasn't actually a girl they were talking to, it was a guy, there was like kind of this whole like angst that everyone was just like, oh, that's unfair. He wasn't playing who he said he was playing. Like there was like obviously guys that were talking to her, and he was responding to guys and obviously flirting and stuff like that. And the reason why how he had that was because it was his plan from the start. He had a girlfriend, and his girlfriend had basically given him preset responses to send to guys as for whatever they would say, and then he's obviously like changed some of it, blah blah blah. But like there was guys that felt cheated because they'd like fell for her, like really liked her, but then now they feel like that it's not who they thought it was. And I thought it was a really interesting reality TV show because it's kind of, this is life nowadays. Like we're all isolated in our own boxes on our computers, typing away on Facebook or Instagram or whatever other social media website we're on, and sometimes you are talking to the genuine article person, but there's times where you could be talking to someone and it might not be who they say they are. And because it's the internet, there's no like there's no like, what's the word, like a universal kind of verifier for the internet. Like there's no like thing like every time you log onto the internet people know that it's you that's on your accounts. Like that would be dope if someone could create that though. Very, although at the same time
Scary.
it means you would be tracking everyone, but it would be a good way to know that people are the genuine people you're speaking to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how we could fix this really and truly. It's just you don't know who you're speaking to online unless you've met that person in real life. That's how scary the internet is. Like they can say they are who they say they are, but then you don't actually know unless you maybe speak to them on the phone, or like good thing we have these video calls and FaceTime and everything like that. We can do that, and I think they just put that on the Bumble app as well, which I think is pretty cool. You can before you meet a person, you can FaceTime them, call them, and stuff like that, so you can actually see who they are before you meet them.
I think like the one thing that probably hasn't been taken seriously yet is like the psychological impact that the internet is probably going to have on all of us.
Yeah.
You know, you know, with withdrawal symptoms, if you don't check Facebook every like hour or something, and like, you know, you said like the amount of likes and stuff, like getting self-conscious.
Instant gratification, yeah. And the thing is, like, even I'm subject to that sometimes, even though I know I shouldn't be.
We all are.
Yeah, like, I'll post something and I'm just like, I don't care if it hasn't got any likes. And then like an hour passes and I was like, what? No one's liked this yet? Well, what's going on? And then I get that one like, I'm like, alright, cool. Alright, cool, I'm calm. Not that I was fishing for the like, but it's just like, what do you mean no one liked it?
It's like as well with the, they think our attention spans are shortening, don't they? Because we have to see everything in short bursts.
Yeah.
Like, and the addictive, one of the addictive components of like Facebook is that where the going down the timeline never ends.
Exactly.
So you constantly got that like cravings, you know, like.
You
so
can always have your fix met with whatever you need unless you don't have data. that's literally it. Like, unless you don't have data, you don't have Wi-Fi, then that's how you start to freak out. Like, but then you never really had it, so like you've got nothing really to worry about. Also, another point I wanted to make: if someone's not on social media, do you trust that person?
They're kind of they're a peculiar.
Yeah.
Like I've got quite a few friends who aren't on social media and stuff, but every time someone says, "Oh, I haven't got Facebook," or something like, there is that little part of me that's like, really.
Like, really?
Oh,
you don't?
You don't,
yeah. Like, yeah,
It's nothing wrong with it. It's a good thing, obviously.
No, it is a good thing, but like, it's just like.
You are kind of taken aback a bit.
Yeah, like even if someone's not on it, it's just like, oh, you're not in. Oh, okay. So what? You think you're better than us, Facebook people?
Actually, there was a weird, like, I don't know if you've heard the idea about Facebook timelines, like, kind of ending up being a bit like obituaries if you used them in a certain way, you know, like this kind of graveyard.
Oh shit. That's a deep thought, yeah.
If, like, you know, if Facebook continues on as long as the human race is around.
No, it's true. It's like even things like, do you know, because of data protection, if you die, Facebook is not obligated to give you, give the family the password to the account of the person that's died because of data protection. That's like
It's kind of good though.
It's good, but then it's kind of like, what if you wanted? The only way you could, I guess it is good.
I mean, like, you don't want people to read your personal messages.
Yeah, I guess so. You don't want your parents to kind of log in and just like see what you've been talking about, see your banter. Like, nah, that's cool. Yeah, Facebook.
Hey man,
that's good, man.
Can I pick up a 10 or something?
You know, it's like, what? Secret life. I thought he was a good child.
But then it's a strange thought, isn't it? Like, you could literally just, like, if you just put up something every single time, a significant point in your life, and you just did like a photograph or something, you could literally look back on decades of, it's good keeping a diary in a way.
I mean, yeah, I guess so. That's what it's kind of turned into now, because like, I don't use Facebook now as much because my parents are on, literally my parents use Facebook now, or my mum uses Facebook now, and it's just like, if you use it, I don't want to use it. The whole point of me being on here was that I could post stuff.
Yeah.
And now you're on here too, so. And then the only time like when Facebook got real was when my family members started to go on it, right? And then I would get a message from my mum saying, "Oh, did you post?" This was before my mum got on Facebook. She was like, "So and so told me that you posted," and I was like, "Oh, Facebook isn't safe anymore." And then like it's the same with like Instagram. Like my mom's on Instagram, but like she hasn't posted anything, but she's followed me. Yeah. It's just like, okay, mum.
It complicates things, doesn't it?
It complicates it. I mean, I'm not gonna change my posting habits, but it's Instagram now. Come on.
I didn't mind it so much when older family members went onto Facebook. It was more when they followed you onto things like Instagram.
Yeah, that's it.
Like, just give us something, you know.
But now I don't mind. It's more followers for the following. It puts the numbers up if the family members follow too. Makes me sound cynical, right? It's just things that go on in my head sometimes. It's just, it's cool.
Yeah.
Can we get? Is there anything else going on in the news? I was telling.
What isn't going on in the news?
I mean, everything is, but like, I found out today that because of Brexit, the pound is the worst performing major currency in the entire world. Because of Brexit. You hear that, politicians? Because of Brexit. You wanted to leave the EU because you wanted to make the pound stronger. Ha ha! Joke's on you. Sorry. Just really does annoy me that these politicians Mark Field grabs Greenpeace protester by the neck. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like saying distractions. But yeah, so apparently the pound is as weak, is as low, at the lowest value that it's been since 2017, guys. Deep that. We're in 2019 and the pound is as weak as we're in 2017. It's gonna only get worse. It says here that the pound is weaker. Wait, great news for Brits abroad. Merely 1-to-1 exchange on the euro. 1-to-1. So for £1, I'm getting €1. Yo, that's like not good. I want to go away on holiday to Europe, and now I'm getting more euros for my pounds. Not the same.
That's a very thorough and deep political analysis of the situation.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Currency is everything, because like if the pound's weak, then it makes the economy weak, and it means that like imagine like hyperinflation in Nazi Germany, like having to print pounds because pounds aren't worth anything. Like it could get to that point, but it's I want to say it's a crazy thought, but in this day and age, what's a crazy thought, you know?
And on top of that, we might have who are we gonna have as our next Prime Minister as well?
Bojo. Boris Johnson.
The idiot.
The idiot, yeah. In the words of Soft Spoken, he is a soft sponge, I believe was the lines in his poem yesterday.
Yeah, it's like I've met some pricks in my time, but that guy's a cactus.
And the thing that just Who I can't remember the name of the other guy who's in the running.
Jeremy Hunt.
Jeremy Hunt, that's the guy. And Jeremy Hunt made a very valid point.
Really?
He makes not many, but the valid point that he made about Boris Johnson being Prime Minister is that we need someone in power who is going to be able to make a good deal with Europe. Now, if Boris Johnson becomes the Prime Minister, and he was the front runner on the whole Brexit thing, he is the reason why Europe believes us, one of the reasons why Europe believes us to be a joke right now. And now we then, not us, sorry, let's take us out of it. We have not voted for this man. The Conservative Party amongst themselves, for whatever reason, believe that Boris Johnson is the right man to run the country. We the people don't agree. But, you know, if that's... Oh, there he is. What is it? You guys listening to me here? Showing... I mentioned Brexit. Literally, look. Boris Johnson, Brexit. Fucking hell.
Scary times.
Boris on Brexit. We either do this or we're doomed. Well, yeah. Let's hear what he has to say. Oh, it's gone. Oh, man.
The quicker we get them out, the better.
It's true. It's the better he is no longer in just... Do you think it's going to happen? Do you think he's going to be the next Prime Minister?
Sadly, yeah. I believe that.
This is like probably the conversations like Americans were having before Trump got in, you know? They're like, do you think Trump's really going to win? And like people are like, I don't want him to, but he probably will, you know?
It's a bit of a shock to us though, wasn't it?
Yeah. Another thing I think is peculiar. Don't you think that it's weird that politics around the world, they say it's a democracy, but then the front-running parties are always blue and red. So like it kind of like stops you from wanting to vote for any other smaller party because they've never had a chance to run. It's always been blue or red. So it feels like if you make that vote for a smaller party because they may have better views, they won't get voted in. So what's the point of voting for them? You might as well vote for the blue or the red.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know.
It's like Ed Miliband's dad wrote a book called There's No Parliamentary Road to Democracy. And that was kind of, you know, talking about what you were just saying there, where there isn't really much choice, you know, and like, yeah.
No, there's not.
My mind's not really working right now.
It's alright, man. But no, there's not as much choice as they make out there is.
No.
And this is kind of the kind of the problem where we kind of get in this situation where like we're kind of relying on one or the other party to run the country. But then if you think about it, if there's only two parties that we're voting for, then that's kind of like saying there's one side of the coin or the other side of the coin, but aren't they basically both pretty much the same? Because when Labour was in power, what did they really do much? I mean, they did do a lot, but then again they were kind of trying to undo things that the Conservative Party had done previously, and then while they were trying to do that, then Conservatives are now in power again. And
the Tony Blair created that
yeah.
that myth, didn't he? That kind of you had to conform to some of Thatcher's kind of economic principles or whatever exactly. To get into power. But I don't know if you heard it, but when Margaret Thatcher was asked what her greatest achievement was, she said New Labour, because she literally brought them from being a socialist party into basically just being red conservatives.
Oh wow.
So but also it's like in this country as well, first past the post is actually one of the most undemocratic voting systems in the world.
Oh, is that the one that we have?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So like that is actually one of the most undemocratic. So yeah, it's a lot harder for the smaller parties or anything to Yeah, to be able to get into Parliament and whatnot.
Huh. I never knew that. But that's the thing, like, isn't it funny, kind of, I don't know if it's in other countries, it probably is in most other countries, but, like, for you to know about the law, you have to become a lawyer. They don't teach you that in school. For you to know about your taxes, you have to do something evolving around finance and shit like that. Otherwise, you don't know about how taxes work properly. And the joke is, the government will give the excuse that they don't want to teach us about taxes because that will give us more a chance to be able to cheat the system. But no, as you're seeing right now, the people who know how to cheat the system are cheating the system, and you're letting them cheat the system. And us people that don't know about our taxes, we just get our HMRC every year, and we kind of just follow that and shit like that. It's like, if we actually knew what these things actually did, I think we would be more kind of less kind of frivolous maybe with our money and more kind of cautious with our spending, as opposed to think that would be like maybe everyone's goal to kind of cheat the system. But people cheat the system now. You guys aren't doing anything about it. Like, so like, why not teach us how this actually all works? Because then maybe we wouldn't be in this situation now if like the people were more informed, actually informed. Like, if we actually knew what the EU did, do you think Brexit would have happened? Like a lot of people, like there's a lot of people who voted for it that don't actually know what the EU do, what the whole point of it is. But all I know is I've grown up in the EU, and my life is great. You know, like there's no, like, we're part of something. You know, we're part of something bigger than us. If shit was to pop off, we've got other countries in our corner. You know. Now thinking about it, if shit was to pop off the way we fucked off the most of the world, come on, this is what like really annoys me, yeah? Great Britain, not great anymore, yeah? But...
Was it ever great?
I mean, they were great in the time when they were conquering civilizations and making it than their own, you know?
I'm not sure about that one.
I mean, that's what they would say. That's why they called it Great Britain, because they were great. They were great. They had the empire, and, you know, they had all the countries that they had conquered and taken over as theirs. And then every country now has, like, Commonwealth independence. And now those countries, maybe some of them do like us, but 90% of us probably don't like us anymore, you know? Because we haven't done anything great for them. And then it's also, like, not... Also, the thing that annoys me is, like, we, as a country, in the history, not me, but the histories, they've gone and pillaged and slayed and enslaved and all these people and all these civilizations. And now these people have now settled in what you want to call your country, the country that they helped to build for you. You want to get pissed off and say, you don't want these guys in your country anymore. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, these people, like the great people from Europe who are coming over to our country, who are our doctors and our nurses and are healing our sick people, you want to get annoyed at these people for coming in and stealing your jobs. I don't understand. Or when people say they're stealing their jobs, it's usually the people who are on benefits saying, these people are out there stealing my job, but you're not out there actively looking for this job. You don't want to actively do that job. So what are you fucking complaining about?
It's a bit of a confusion when people say that kind of stuff, isn't it? Because they're either like, you're either stealing my job or you're stealing my benefits. Like, which one is it?
Yeah. Like, it just really infuriates me. Sorry for my rant.
No.
This is why I stayed away from the news for a while, because it just really infuriates me. It's just like, if Margaret Thatcher brought Labour forward to become red Conservatives. That is the
horrible
line of the podcast that literally that just cements everything that like we're not, even if we vote Labour, we're still voting Conservative.
Actually, in a moment ago, when you were saying about going to other countries and pillaging and whatnot, for some reason you brought up a thing, something I thought of the other day. I was watching. You seen Indiana Jones films?
Yeah.
You've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark? It's a great film, and I love it. But I never realised Indiana Jones is like a bit of a bastard, really, isn't he? Like he's an awful archaeologist.
Yeah.
Like, you know, he destroys ancient temples just to get a little gold statue, which he then takes to America. Like, I didn't realise how much of a dick he actually is.
It's kind of funny, like when you look back at maybe, I don't know, cartoons when you're an adult, you see that these cartoons are actually not even that. Like, my friend was telling me about how cartoons nowadays are the things that people need to watch, because there's things that these animators or writers are putting in these shows that kids are privy to, and they're changing their thinking and thoughts on real life issues. But because adults are out of the room and they're just, this TV show, they love this show, let's stick him in front of the show and he's watching it. Adults aren't privy to. My friend said she was in the room one time and she heard she was watching a TV show and she heard the TV show say something about what was it about? They would talk about something that was climate, maybe climate change, or something to do with something that was a real life issues that was current. And then she said that she was like, wait, hang on, wait, what? This is my little brothers and sisters are watching this. She rewinded it. This isn't a cartoon, and it's when you watch cartoons nowadays are not the same as what they were before, back in the day. But if you watch cartoons from back in the day as an adult, you see so much more. There's what was I watching? The Regular Show, right? In the Regular Show, they go to this chicken bar or something after work or something, and they get loads of chicken wings. And I think one episode I heard one of the characters say, last night we got so wasted on those chicken wings. I was like, wasted on chicken wings? What? What do you mean? What do you mean you got wasted on chicken? I mean, I understand it in the concept. You could say, you're saying you got wasted in the fact that you got so full. But it's the writer's okay, cool. After work they went to the bar and they got chicken wings. Chicken wings. But they got wasted. People would just think they got full.
Heavy nightmare.
Or kids will just think they got full. And and then it's just thinking about the terminology that they use, and it's just wow, I didn't see this as a kid because I was so innocent, not privy to the outside world. But then, because of social media and because of the world of how it is nowadays, like that little boy who's 8 years old who wrote a letter to McDonald's about single-use plastic. Kids are on it nowadays, so I don't know. Are they so on it because of what they're watching, or because of what they have around them? But I don't know. At 8 years old, I was not thinking about the world, you know, and that
maybe they just can't avoid it as much now.
Yeah, maybe it's that. But it's crazy to think that an 8-year-old is thinking about these things, and the people who are in power can't think about that. Maybe if we make the companies accountable for their plastic use. Maybe they might care more about, maybe put some sort of fine on like companies not taking care of their plastics or something like that. I don't know.
The governments work for corporations,
exactly,
don't they?
yeah,
it's their mates.
Exactly. It's like my friend was also telling me about how, kind of lobbyists. And how basically lobbyists are the ones that make the laws, really and truly, in this country, and it's not the government or the politics or the politicians who have the face of we're putting this thing out. It's really a company will come to the lobbyists and they'll try and discuss something. We want this done, and then the lobbyists will go and try and get that deal done on behalf of the company, so that this law will be passed in their favour. And it's just like, when you think about that, then what is this whole democracy thing really about? Like, what am I actually...
Democracy, yeah. Well, true democracy doesn't really exist, does it?
What am I actually voting for?
There's even someone like May, her husband runs like a security firm. Like, she's not, she's going to be in his...
Yeah.
working for his benefits. So
yeah, exactly. So it's like... Maybe I should get into politics, man. Maybe I should be... Someone said to me, like, that I should get into politics. And I was just like, it seems too shady and shit like that. I feel like... Well, maybe I should, man. I don't know. Fuck it, I don't know.
Stand on the outside.
Because I feel like there's... It's crazy that if you want anything done, you have to do it yourself. You can't rely on the government to do anything for you, really and truly. They're having their own internal conversation about some other shit that's more important than us. That's why they take away from shit like what is it, like, I read this article. That's what this article stuck in my mind from last episode I recorded with Fury WD. There's 250 schools around the whole of England that are shutting at 12 p.m. on a Friday because the schools do not have the funds to pay the teachers to keep them in past 4 o'clock.
They can afford to not get Amazon to pay their taxes.
And it's just like, where does this country's priorities lie? I don't know.
Well, it's like the bankers were the ones who caused the economic crash, and yet it's us who are paying for it.
Yeah.
And then, back in the day when people like David Cameron and George Osborne were going to court to defend bankers.
Yeah.
And let them be allowed to keep their bonuses or whatever. It's just
exactly.
It's all a joke.
And like the people who are running our country nowadays, they all went to university debt free. Actually, they all went to university for free. Sorry. Sorry. And now everyone is paying back money.
£9,000 a year.
Now they're paying $9,000 a year. I only paid $3,000 a year when I went to uni.
Yeah, same.
And £9,000 for 1 year at university is like my whole the cost of my whole entire education at university.
And most first years just getting fucked anyway,
yeah.
Isn't it,
And first year doesn't matter or count for your entire degree. You just have to pass. First year is just induction into university, and you literally just have to pass. And then your degree starts from the second year. So basically, university is like a glorified college with an introduction year. But you pay for it.
And you're 18 and you go and get messed up every night of the week. And just have loads of free time to just basically do whatever you want.
Yeah. It's a bubble.
And get money for it.
Yeah, you get money. Yeah, it's great. Anyone looking to go to university, right? University is a great time. Don't take our cynical thoughts and think, oh no, look, $9,000 a year. No, guys, listen. Go to university because university is a bubble of life for 3 to 4 years where life does not actually matter. Like the real world, the real world is not a thing for 3 to 4 years. Like,
do it.
like do it, go, like 100%. Because when you actually do leave, you realize how real the real world actually is. And you're just like, yo, I wasn't prepared for this. They didn't prepare us.
I think I did that my final exam bit, and I just sat in my room and just went, now what?
You know?
Like, it was just, like, and then everyone has that year, don't they, when you first leave, where you just a bit, what the fuck am I doing? Like, do you know what I mean? Everyone's just kind of like, in some kind of...
And, and depending on what degree you studied as well, it's like, also, it's just like, how do I get a job with this? Where do I now work? Like, I know, like for me, it was like, because I done what do they call it? A vocational degree, so it's like an arts degree.
Mm.
I did dance and drama with music and sound. So like, for me, getting into the creative arts anyway is hard enough. I'm gonna have to be working for free until I get that job that pays me, but shit. Since I just sorry Dante for calling. You were calling and you were cutting off the recording, and I'll call you back later. I don't know if you listen to the podcast, you'll hear this if you do. I forgot what I was saying. Something about and fight the power, university. Yeah, go to university, guys.
How about the arts degree and
degree,
finding the job?
Finding a job.
Yeah.
I don't know, I went into admin because it just seemed like the right thing to do, or it was either that or what are they called? I did like promotional work, like handing out flyers and shit like that. I've done that shit, but like I needed a stable job, I needed to know there was money definitely coming in every week or every month. I need to know. I need stability.
I used to when you were saying about the arts degree, like I did an arts degree at uni as well, and that was with film. But I used to feel bad sometimes because some of the people I lived with were like environmental science students. So I'm not saying that like we don't have to do work.
Yeah.
But they did a lot more work,
yeah.
and so we'd be had a lot more time to just chill out watching films and stuff. And then like the environmental science, one of them, my friend like comes down the stairs and he's like, "Oh, do you not do any work?" And it's like, I'm a film student. I'm working. Can you like please leave me alone? Fuck off. Stop getting in the way of my work. It's like, yeah. Right.
Actually, when I was studying media, thinking of funny about this, did you find when you were studying film that it made watching films kind of like, what's the word? Like work?
There's a habit I think I've picked up for quite a while now. I can't watch anything without critiquing it at the same time, or like trying to find like, I don't know, there's an opening scene in Dunkirk where the camera pulls out and there's just like two poles, like on either side, and you do the whole like, oh, it's to symbolise they're boxed in. Like, do you know what I mean? You just can't help but like just do all that kind of stuff.
Like when I was studying media at college, like that's what it was like watching a film. I was watching it, I was like, oh, so so they're doing this shot because of mise en scène. I was like,
oh, they've stolen that from Sergio Leone.
I was like, I couldn't watch films, but like, yeah, you probably have that sixth sense. You just automatically you're just critiquing it. You're just like that.
But I remember once trying to outdo the arty types by like out arty-fartying them, and it basically came down to like I did work hard, but there was one time I just had a lot of other stuff on and I didn't do the project properly. It was basically to make like this 2-minute film using a green screen. So I was like, what am I gonna do? So I just did this collage of just loads of different, or like visual collage thing of like riots and all this kind of stuff, and then just put a bloke in front of a green screen, like in parts of it with some stuff going on in the background and whatnot, and then I had to give reasons for why I did it, and I didn't do that either. So on the spot I'm just going, oh wow, this is to symbolise like like this in society and blah blah blah. I'm just going on this massive tangent about what it all means, and then at the end, like the my teacher, he was basically a spitting image of Morrissey, like wearing black rimmed glasses, like quiff whatnot, and he just looks at me with his like hand stroking his chin. He's just like, Ben, that was the biggest load of shit. I was like, you just didn't do it properly, did you?
You're right, sir. But yeah, since we're getting on to you, like, let's talk more about you, Ben.
No, that's I like the conversation we're having.
Oh, okay.
More general.
General, alright, cool.
But that's, it's your show, man.
Well, I just wanted to find out a few things, just for the audience purposes, just for writers, like, who are listening. You've written how many plays?
The one that's
The one
including the one we're doing.
Including the one that I'm directing, yeah.
Yeah, I've done 3. So
oh, okay, cool. That's cool. And what got you on to writing plays in the first place?
It was by accident, really. I was back home in Swindon, and basically, like, there was an old cinema that had been like run down for decades, and a performer, a bloke called Dan Rivers, he opened up a place called the Bohemian Balcony, and I suppose it's kind of like, you could describe it as being like a Warhol factory kind of thing. Like, you just had loads of different stuff going on. Like, so you had like plays, and like artists can come in and do stuff, or people can make films there, that kind of thing. And they wanted an opening play to, and I just went in just to help paint. And then the guy was like, "Oh, you write?" And I was like, "Yeah, I write poetry and whatnot." And he was like, "Oh, we're trying to open this play up, but it has to be about the building and blah blah." And then he was just like, "Do you want to
have a go?"
Have a go at it. And so I did, and then just been doing this since then.
That's pretty cool. Like, it's kind of like more on that thing, like, everything happens for a reason. Like, it's too much to say, kind of like being in the right place at the right time. Oh, actually. It's more like, like, I don't know, like, you went there, it was, you went down there just to paint. You just wanted to help out, just because it was a new theatre opening up. You just didn't want anything from it, and then the opportunity landed on your lap, and you're like, well, yeah, why not take it up? And was this play a success?
It was, but it sold out. Like, it was on for 2 nights, and they both sold out. But the thing is, it wasn't, the thing that made it difficult was I had 2 weeks to write it. It could have hardly any dialogue because it was all being put on in a bit of a rush, and it had to explore the building. So it had to be a play where the audience walked around this old building, but it had to have some kind of story to run through it. So me and the guy I wrote it with, actually, called Seb Wolf, like, he fell into it as well, the same way I did. And so we ended up just doing, apparently the cinema was haunted by a ghost. So we decided to, like, base it on this woman, and she, like, you go through and she's going through history. So there's all these like different bits. But no, it was good fun, it was a good experience. And then
like, from writing that, like, I know you've written 2 other plays that were strictly on the stage, but would you write another immersive theatre play?
No, I'd love to,
yeah. That'd be cool.
I've got an idea for one. Like, I'm going to try writing sometime soon. But
would it just be kind of immersive as in a theatre, or kind of immersive as in kind of like outside, like do you know, like, people when they do those tours, kind of like taking people on a tour around maybe an abandoned place or something like that?
Yeah. It's like with that lady played you, Mum. That was very much like that, and that was quite good fun. But we added some like David Lynch type stuff in there. It was kind of like, and, you know, being in an old abandoned building, it had like a really ghostly kind of.
That's nice.
But yeah, no, it was good fun, man. And I'm looking forward to what me and you are putting on.
Yeah, definitely. And that play is called Prey, and I love the play. is absolutely amazing. I can't wait to put it on. Right now, the stage that we're at is we're looking to try and get funding. So we're looking for a venue to put the play on, so that we can
put it on.
But like the reason why we're looking for the venue is so we can do the budgeting for what we need for the application, so that we can put it into the Arts Council, basically. But because it's, do you wanna tell like just a brief outline of what the play's about?
It's quite difficult to kind of like try and, but I suppose it's about someone who's fighting their own inner demons, I suppose, and yeah, I think that's probably like it right now.
Yeah, that's actually it. Yeah, someone who's fighting their own inner demons, and that's a story that everyone can relate to. I think because
we're all doing that.
We're doing that day in, day out.
But it does get quite surreal. It's not like
Yeah, but that's what I love about it. It's very surreal, and then it kind of becomes real, and then that's when it really makes you think. So, I don't know, it's without saying, that's literally all you can say about the play, without kind of giving away too much. I mean, there's kind of themes of suicide in it, themes of mental health, but yeah, that's all you can really say about the play without like telling you the whole story. I've realised that like with writing a play, like people ask me what the play's about, and I'm just like and then I'm just start to think about like things that are close or similar to it. So it's kind of like this is what I've been telling people. I was like, it's kind of like Black Mirror mixed with 1984 mixed with Gossip Girl. But only from the idea. Oh wait, no, I can't say that. Just mixed with Gossip Girl, with also elements of Romeo and Juliet, and
there's a bit of a Romeo and Juliet in 1984 as well, isn't there? Actually,
exactly.
With Juliet.
Exactly. Winston and Juliet.
Ding ding ding. No, I'm really looking forward to reading that when you finish with that. Sounds really interesting.
It's an interesting story, especially the story that we're trying to tell of just basically just this generation of just how we literally complain about something for all of 5 seconds and then it's not an issue. So what would happen if that just continued and spiraled out of control, like life kind of seems to be doing right now? So it's on the forefront that kind of Brexit has happened.
The rise of the far right.
Yeah.
All over, yeah.
Yeah. So it's got elements of real life of what's happening around us, as well as kind of the whole drama of the world of. I just really love 1984 because I read 1984 after starting writing this play.
Yeah.
Because I started writing the play and I was explaining the story to someone. No, it was Sophie. Yeah. Yeah, I was explaining the story to Sophie and she was like, Have you read 1984? And I was like, no, what's 1984? She's like, you haven't read 1984 by George Orwell. And I'm like, I ain't heard of that book. I read the book and I was like, oh my days, this is literally the world that we're trying to create. It's like, it's just, I can't believe George Orwell wrote it all down in a book, and he wrote it in the
40s.
In the 40s, yeah.
He wrote in the periods when Stalin was in power.
Yeah, exactly.
And towards the end of the Second World War. but I think like I remember like the one bit of that book that haunts me the most is the last line, and it's the one where he felt he was in love with Big Brother, or he fell in love with Big Brother, or whatever. But yeah, that I just remember reading that bit for the first time, and just being like, whoa, like
Yeah. Another thing that
it's Julia. It's Julia.
It's like, and it's also like nothing's changed as well. It's really eerie at the end of 1984, because it's like, at the same time, it's like so much has happened in the middle, but it's like we're right back at the start again.
I was reading a bit actually about an article the other week about Orwell writing 1984, and basically due to ill health he went up into onto some Scottish island and was on some some house isolated there, and that's when he wrote 1984. But do you know, as you're reading that book you can feel like the horror and like coming over the whole time, well, because he wrote Animal Farm, and it was like it was a critique on the Stalinist regime. Like Stalin sent out agents to go and kill people who did that kind of thing. So the whole time he was writing 1984, he thought Stalinist agents were like coming out to get him, and I think you can sense that now. You can
sense that now. Now knowing that's what the book is kind of about.
Yeah.
It's literally that's what it's about. He's Winston.
He was Winston, yeah, exactly. Like the ill health and
exactly. He's Winston. And he's these thought crimes that he's having against Stalin, and they're closing in on him. And this story was just like, what if they caught me? How would they catch me? Well, they would have to trick me, and the only way they could trick me is make me fall in love with a girl that would actually be the girl that I actually really hated at the start of the book, but then end up falling in love with. And then she's the one that's tricking me.
What was being your room 101?
My room 101, as in like a book?
No, as in like, do you know the torture chamber where it's like your worst fear? So his is rats, for example. Winston's.
Shit. My room 101, I guess. My worst fear. My worst fear is heights. You can't put that in a box. I guess I don't have many fears nowadays. I guess back in the day, like when I was a kid, I was like I was actually afraid of Harry Potter. There was a one Harry Potter movie I was deadly afraid of watching, and I was deadly afraid of Lord of the Rings as well. But for some reason they were horror films to me, and I couldn't watch it at night. Otherwise, I had nightmares.
Yeah.
So like back in the day, I would have put like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter films. The books are dope. The books I read The Hobbit, and I read all of the Lord of the Rings books. I have not seen The Hobbit, but people tell me who have seen The Hobbit don't watch The Hobbit. So I was like, fine, I'm happy with the story that I read in Tolkien's book. For me, it feels like I understand why they did it that way, but if they were going to stretch out The Hobbit into 3 films anyway, they might as well just release The Hobbit first, you know? And then done Lord of the Rings.
It's like they did a lot of the shorter stories and stuff, didn't they? Like they added them in, but no, I haven't seen the new Lord of the Rings films either.
But there is a Tolkien film that's which is the biopic of Tolkien, which I think is pretty cool because there's parts in the film where like, because he was in the war, like there's parts of like weapons that he's fused together, or ideas for like weapons that he's came up with from Lord of the Rings, from being in the war and put into Lord of the Rings, and they kind of show you kind of what his thought process would have been for that kind of weapon, or how like he connects like an explosion to be something else in Lord of the Rings, and they show you that, and that's pretty cool. Apparently, I haven't seen it there.
Yeah, no, I need to. I do like Tolkien. But, no. I don't know if you remember this. Like, I was pretty good when it came to films. Like I was like horror films and stuff as a kid. I was pretty much able to watch whatever. But the one thing that did terrify me is, do you remember? We're roughly the same age, aren't we? Do you remember the Demon Headmaster?
Yeah.
That used to terrify me. It's like the opening, like was like, yeah, I used to send shivers down my spine. But yeah,
the reason why I say nothing scares me is because like horror films nowadays, I don't find them scary.
no.
And the reason is because I don't believe these things can happen to me personally. That's it. That's all. I need to believe that shit in the film can happen to me in my real life, and then I will be scared. Like when I watched Get Out. Get Out was a scary film. I was like, I finished watching that film. I was like, white people. Maybe I need to look at them differently now. I was like, this could happen. No, I believe this could happen. This could totally happen to me.
I think there's kind of like a resurgence in like good horror films now, don't they? Like there's like The Witch. That's a good film, but I think for a while, horror films just became ridiculously boring. Like it's just you knew it before it was even made.
Yeah.
Like a bunch of teenagers get lost in the woods. A bunch of teenagers, like, you know, and like I think it's more psychological horror that scares people rather than, you know, blood and gore.
And even what, The Conjuring or...
I haven't seen any of that.
I found those absolutely hilarious. I can't remember who I went to the cinema with, but like maybe I think it was The Conjuring 2 must have come out, and we went down there and like we were the only people laughing. There was parts but literally what we were laughing at, it was like, because it was so not scary, we were laughing at other people's reactions to the jumps, like, because we called it, like, so we were like, there's something coming, like, they're gonna act out, and they were like, oh! Oh my days, it was the best time I've ever been to the cinema. Watching a horror film, just laughing my head off. Like just watching the film, I was like, this couldn't happen. Why is he going in this room? No, he's hearing the noises. Don't go in the room. Who goes in the room? Like who does? Like I need to see a film like where they hear the noises in the room, no one goes in the room, and then the ghoul just like still gets them, you know. And then I'll be like, yo, it doesn't matter if you don't go in the room, the shit's still gonna get you. Oh, it was just a ploy.
Actually, I remember scaring like years ago with you know, my parents were pretty liberal. I was allowed to watch whatever. So when I was about like 10 or 9 or something, I watched like Silence of the Lambs, and like, I was fine with it. I thought it was great. But anyway, like we maybe a couple of months later or something, like, do you know when you go on those like in primary school, when you go on those like trips away for a week or whatever, it's your first time away from your parents and whatnot, and so we go on one of them, and we're in this like little dorm, there's like 7 of us or so, and we want to tell ghost stories, and I've always loved telling stories, so like I did a few of my own, but like my best one was just recounting Silence of the Lambs, because it just terrified everyone. And just for the dramatic effect, I told them what was a true story, and he was on the loose. And then I think like complaints were made or whatnot.
Oh my days, that would have scared the life out of me. As a kid, I would have not been able to sleep.
Yeah. And then he peels this guy's face off.
Oh my days, I would have been there. I'd be like, would have been awake, and falling asleep at school because I felt like I was safe at school.
It was just, I just remember some teacher being like, you shouldn't be watching that. Like, but no, it's a great film.
No, I only said because I've had a job where I do you know like what's it called, Fright Nights at Fort Park. I worked there. I worked in I don't know if you have you been to Fright Nights before?
I haven't, no. That's where they have the saw stuff, isn't it?
Yeah. So like there was a maze called Asylum. And the year that I worked there was the last year of Asylum. And Asylum was a great maze. And it was basically meant to be like a mental asylum that had kind of gone even more creepier, I guess. And like the patients had run riot, and they were no longer in their cells, and everyone had to be like a character that had like a tick or something, and like it was really fun to learn how to scare people and then actually do it, because like I don't know like you've done it, so you know, like there's not there's not a better rush than when you scare another human being. I don't. It's,
That sounds really
makes
bad.
me sound so bad. I'm so sorry, but like doing the job, like when I was like, it was just like just the fact of like these moves, these simple acts, like moves that I'd learned that would actually scare someone else, like, and it was only scary because of we were able to play with, we had like flashing lights and there was smoke and stuff like that, so we could use that to kind of like be in one place and then be in another place so quickly.
Yeah.
So like the idea of like, if like, because there was flashing lights, it meant that I could literally walk and it would look like I was getting closer and closer, but like if I walked fast enough, 1 minute I would be here, then I would be there, then I would be right in front of you. So you know what I mean? So like, and doing that and scaring someone, it was like such a rush, because it's like, oh my gosh, like only because of these lights am I able to fool you.
Oh no, that must have been good.
Yeah, no, it was really cool, and like because Asylum's not around anymore, I can talk about this, but like there was this in the aisle at the end, there was this chainsaw, and this is where like in the aisle, I kid you not, me and whoever was down there, we saw a ghost, right? I 100% I saw a ghost, right? And it was like we just scared like a group of people out, like, because basically he would hide at the bottom in the toilets and, and like kick the toilet stall open when they got close enough and scare them, and like I would run them down by like kind of revving this real life chainsaw running at them with it, so they would run off and they were like, ah! And then like my friend would be at the bottom and get the last scare, so it'd be cool. But like it was like after we had let a group out and then like we shut the doors and everything, and we wrote both at the bottom, and we looked up and we saw like some feet underneath like a curtain. There was like loads of shower curtains, and like I know it wasn't just me, because I looked over there and I was like, I see some feet over there. Do you see that? And he saw it too, and he was like, yeah. And I was like, we were like, hello, no answer. So we were like, all right, cool, let's just go down there. So we went down there, and obviously we tried to move the curtain. There was nothing there. We looked down and we didn't see the shoes anymore. But I definitely saw it.
Yeah.
It's the scariest moment in my life. Working in a scare maze and then being scared.
It's like poetic justice in a way, isn't it? You scare people, you get scared things.
Come on, oh yeah, shit, I was gonna give you this random fact that I found.
Yeah, no, I'm interested to hear this.
So, in Switzerland, it is illegal to own your own, to own just one guinea pig.
Okay.
And the reason is because guinea pigs are social animals, and they are considered victims of abuse if they are alone.
Oh, that's nice.
So why isn't this law everywhere?
Yeah.
But
yeah. I don't know. I don't think you can really force.
No, it's true. It's what
they live with you.
But yeah, I just thought that was a cool fact.
Yeah, no, it's
What else
interesting.
is there on this list? Snakes can help predict earthquakes. Huh? Because they can sense a coming earthquake from 75 miles away. And up to 5 days before it happens. Yo. We need to figure out how to speak to animals. Because, like, animals can do amazing shit, and we can't communicate with them to let them know that we need their help, like real talk. Like, yo, like a snake can predict an earthquake 5 days before it happens. So imagine, like, Pompeii was a volcano. That doesn't count. I don't know any famous earthquakes, but like, imagine like there was an, like, I don't know, like we could speak. There was like a Dr. Dolittle, right? And snakes had a language that he could understand, and he was working in like I don't know. The snake was feeling the vibrations. Oh, as stupid as this sounds.
The snakes probably just have that kind of pompous kind of, I know something you don't know, kind of idiots.
I know, thinking about it now, like, if we could speak to animals, do you think animals would let us in on their plans? Like, squirrels, like, seem to be, like, very, like, what's the word? Like, together as a species. Like, maybe sometimes it feels like they can understand us. So, if we could understand them,
Childish question, but if you could be an animal, what animal would you be?
a sloth. Because it seems like they don't do much, and that seems like the life I would need right now.
Mine's based on a similar reasons. A koala bear.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you know, high all the time basically.
Yeah. I mean, it's just I just wanna live life, just
chill.
Chill, you know, not have to work, but still have money coming from somewhere. The other payment schemes of payment plans, not payment plans,
It's a
income streams, that's the one, income streams I was talking about at the start of the episode, and you know, just live life, and if I want to do something, just do it.
Animals, you know, like, you kind of, I always, you know, for a while I've been thinking that, it's just, you look at like, animals, things like pandas and that, they can just be a panda.
Yeah.
You know, they can just chill, they can do what they want, there's no real like pressures or anything, and then humans like, no, you have to be the best at this, or no, you have to have a good job, and it's like, why can't we just, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just have that.
Although, like, because we're not within their, I guess, community, and we don't speak panda, or maybe they do have their politics in their societies. Maybe, like, they see us as the human overlords, right? Because, like, in some places, animals, like, literally, they will fuck us up if we come into contact with us. But, like, and we give them their space, and they give us, I guess, the space that they allow us, you know? We don't come into their territory, and they don't eat us. So, you know, so, I mean, it works. But, like, what if, like, I don't know, like Lion King, for example. Like, there's the laws of the land, but then again, that's what we've made it. We don't know. Like, maybe for being a lion, maybe they're just lions, you know? They just live, they give birth to their lion cub and
Simba.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. When I said it, I was just thinking about like, nah, I'm a hen. Yeah. I was gonna say Lion King, like, I actually started to look into like the stories of the Lion King. I did read this somewhere, and I can't.
Is that when the revolution happens?
Yeah, like.
And Simba's ousted.
Yeah, like the original story of.
No, actually,
yeah. Maybe I'll make it up.
Do you know what? I never saw Lion King until I was at uni.
I swear down. Lion King was my favourite film. I watched it multiple times in uni on. That's not lie. It was my favourite film. Like this, oh no, I'm not gonna admit to that.
Go on, what?
They might track me, the torrents that I downloaded. I'm admitting it now. We all did it. Don't find us all.
No, it's just I just remember like the guy I used to live with was just like talking about the Lion King at one point, and I was like, oh, I've never seen it. He's like, you've never seen the Lion King, so they forced me to sit and watch it. You know, it's just like meant to be doing other things like work.
I think I did that as well to someone when they said they hadn't seen the Lion. I was like, what? What do you mean you haven't seen it? But Simba and nah, man, yeah, you ain't seen it. Oh, you've missed out on life. It's like, have you seen Space Jam?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
I went to see that at cinema, man.
See, like, I know people that haven't seen Space Jam, And I said to them, what happened to your childhood? You're like, what do you mean you haven't seen Space Jam? Space Jam was like one of those films that like cemented like a generation, and you missed out on that.
It's the same when people say they haven't seen Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, nah, I just wasn't really a fan of it. But, right? But, okay.
no, I know some people have honestly never seen like a Star Wars film. Like, it just takes me aback all the time.
I haven't seen any of the new Star Wars films.
That's fair enough. The originals though.
Yeah, I've seen all the originals, but I haven't seen any of the new Disney ones. I'm sure they're great.
No.
But I just, from the moment Disney took over, I was just like, it's like, I can't talk about it too much because there's probably people who still haven't seen the film. The new Spider-Man film. I saw that at the cinema. Great film. It's a good film, but I can't talk about why it's not a good film. How do I feel about giving these... There's Spider-Man spoilers, guys. Do you want to watch the film?
I don't mind, man. I don't mind.
It's just the way how they kind of they say that this film is kind of clearing up everything to do with
Infinity War.
Yeah, and Endgame and everything like that. And I feel like they done a really bad job at it. Really, to be honest, if they're saying that this is the film to do it. They didn't really clear up much to do with kind of... They said they were trying to clear up maybe some things to do with why Captain Marvel was in it and kind of possible alternate universes to branch into the Spider-Verse kind of spin-off that they did.
Yeah.
But, I mean... I don't know, I feel bad spoiling it for people, so I won't say any more, but watch it. But it is a good film, but just as, I don't know, a Marvel fan, it's just, I don't know, man. It feels like there maybe a bit more action, but, and also, another thing I will add, it's worth staying until the end credits, after the end credits, to see the two scenes that they play at the end. Because they connect, they make a lot of things make sense in the film. That's all I will say about Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Yeah. I wrote Spider-Man into one of my poems recently.
Oh, really?
Because I mentioned Mary Jane.
Oh, okay.
And I was just like, Mary Jane, I'm sure I know that name from somewhere. And then I did some research, Mary Jane, Spider-Man, and I was like, yes, it connects.
Actually, did you ever watch the live action Spider-Man films from the 1970s at all?
No.
Like, I only know they exist because I got one in the market, and it was clearly taped or something because the second part of the film cuts off before the actual end. But yeah, they made some really dodgy live action Spider-Man films where he doesn't swing around or anything.
He
yeah,
walked.
might be worth. Yeah, he pretty much walked and just jumped to walls. It was pretty much, and dressed like Spider-Man and throws people into swimming pools and stuff. And I think he's taken on the Yakuza or something, maybe. I can't really remember it now, but yeah.
Oh, sounds brilliant.
Yeah, it's worth a watch.
I love old-timey films sometimes.
Yeah, it's like Flash Gordon.
Yeah.
You know?
Or like when Adam West was Batman.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, no, I love all that.
Great times in cinematography.
A masterpiece.
Oh yeah.
It's like, did you ever watch T.J. Hooker?
Is that a film?
It's the William Shatner TV series where he plays like a policeman.
Oh no, I didn't. I have heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
Oh yeah, and I watched the intro sometime. It's pretty funny, man.
I'll check it out. Oh, there was a film that I was meant to check out. Someone at work told me about it today. Lilo. If you get a chance, watch Lilo, because my friend at work, or one of my colleagues at work, she said that she knows the guy who wrote the film, and I think it's on Netflix as well, which is cool. And another cool thing that is on Netflix is because I've done some research about Netflix shows and how people get shows on Netflix. You have to literally be part of a major studio or like major like theatre, someone major to get on Netflix. You can't just submit a show, and because they don't accept those kind of submissions. So
It's a shame.
yeah, it is a bit of a shame, because I have ideas for you, Netflix. Yeah, you're never gonna hear about them.
Yeah, no,
I'm gonna
same.
take it to my own platform. You're gonna lose out on the money.
We'll do it ourselves.
That's right, son. And then you're gonna be coming and be like, let me buy. Yeah, then you'll want me, Netflix. You'll have your day.
Yeah.
But yeah, where can the people find you?
I post on Instagram like this poetry mainly, or I do some drawings and stuff as well. But yeah, and then I'm hoping to have some publish some stuff soon.
Oh, that's
so
cool. Oh, that'd be dope. Love to read some books.
but thanks for having me. It's been fun. And
What is your Instagram for anyone who's listening?
my phone's battery's died, but isn't it like ben.poppy.92 or something like that?
Something like that, yes.
You can find me, Ben
yeah,
Poppy.
no, I'll put it all in the description and he'll be tagged in all the posts, so it's cool. But yeah, I've actually really enjoyed this conversation.
Yeah.
I love my rant. I felt like I needed to get that off my chest.
Needs to be done.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we've come to the end of the show. We've had some laughs. We've talked about politics. Yeah, man, there's a real spiral of conversation in there. I hope you take some meaning from it. I haven't said this in a while. If you've enjoyed listening, thanks for listening. And if you haven't enjoyed listening, then more fool you for sat at home for listening for 1 hour and 47 minutes. You're an idiot. If you I hate this show so much I'm gonna listen to the end, make sure they don't say anything that I'll miss. But yeah, that's all I have to say. That's it, yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Oh no, that's not it.